What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 40, and we start today's episode off with some player training and also a couple of transfer bids coming in here for two of our players currently on the transfer list. George Baldock and John Lundstrom, who of course are now in their late 20s and both out of contract at the end of the season. Obviously Baldock, we rejected a bid from KAA Ghent a couple episodes ago for our backup right back, and as you'll see, I also rejected this bid here from Huddersfield Town because of course I like Baldock, not just because I used to play against him in real life in junior football, not sure I mentioned that before guys. And of course, it's a backup right back for Bogle. Whenever he does play, he does put in a pretty decent shift. And also became for John Lundstrom as well, also out of contract in the summer. Now 27 years old in the game, only 70 rated. And again, out of contract in the summer, not going to get a new deal. And we negotiated a £2.3 million deal with the Belgian side. So Lundstrom is going to go to Belgium. It's over his valuation by £400,000. So a pretty decent sale, really, for a player that isn't really going to play this year. Because, of course, Lundstrom suffered that ACL in the penultimate game of season 1, and last year when he came back around, I think it was December time he came back, he played a few games for us, but I think it was only like 7 for the season, and when he did play, didn't do especially well, nothing too noteworthy. So I'm going to let Lundstrom go. We know he's the FPL king, he's the dream budget option in FPL. I think everybody's got him in Fantasy Premier League now, as he's having such an amazing season in real life at Bramwell Lane, but our contract in the summer in the game, not going to get any better. I felt it was best to let him go for a fresh start in Belgium. So Lundstrom is gone. We thank him for his service. Never really recovered from that ACL, but he's off now to Belgium, and we'll see how he gets on there away from home. But following the sale of Lundstrom, as you can see, we had about £17 million in our budget, as another bid came in for our captain, which of course we rejected. Norwood is going nowhere, as he's still wearing the armband at his club. And also we accepted a loan offer for Brendan Quinn, one of our young academy products. And for our first game of today's episode, we will take on Newcastle United away at St James's Park. Of course, absolutely buzzing after our big win on match day 1 against Wolves away at Molineux, where we got our first ever opening day victory with a very impressive 3-2 win, where of course Ivan Toney was the hero, bagged a brace on match day 1 away at Wolves, and now taking on one of his former clubs away at St James's Park. He's faced Newcastle at St James's Park twice. He scored in both of those games. He scored last season a brace away at St James's Park, and of course all the attention would be on him once again. And the first chance fell just 29 minutes into the Blaze, with Davy Prupper finding that man Toney. Great ball over the top to find Calvert-Lewin. The strike partnership combined once again, but unfortunately Dominic denied by a great save by Dubravka, as it's still 0-0. Golden chance there, as the former Everton man couldn't get his second goal of the season. But in the 33rd minute, how frustrating was this to see? Christian Atsu fires Newcastle United a goal up, and it was a double whammy as well. A rebound goal conceded in just our second game of the season. I've said it before, man, 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and Sheffield United conceding rebound goals. We're so unlucky with that. But also you might have noticed when McKenna went up for the initial aerial duel with Christian Atsu, he fell down, he landed awkwardly, and was forced off the pitch on the stretcher. So 33 minutes in to our second game of the season, and already an injury to deal with. Last year we were injury plagued, and it looks like we're going to start off that way in season 3 as well. Jordan Torunariga comes on to make his debut in a Sheffield United shirt, as McKenna is forced off early. So still 1-0. Could have been 2-0 heading into the break as well. Great chance for the Magpies to double their lead, but Henderson made a really good save there, as they were dominating possession in the first half. 62% of it. I could barely get the ball off the Magpies in the first half. So in the second half, if we get any chances, they're probably going to come on a counter like here. 75th minute, Robinson off the bench, played forward by Fleck. Great save by Dubravka though, as it's still 1-0. He was keeping Newcastle in front in this game. Couple of big saves, as it was still 1-0. And in the 77th minute, Toney gets on the run, takes it round his man, evades the slide tackle, stops, turns, shoots, and how about this? We score a rebound goal. Get in. First time in a while we've got to score a rebound goal. Toney hits the post, plays a 1-2 at the frame of the goal, and turns in the follow-up. Newcastle United 1, Sheffield United 1, and for the 3rd straight game against the side that he signed for many years ago, Ivan Toney has scored at St James's Park again. I think he scored 4 goals in 3 games at St James's Park. He loves playing his former side. It's his 3rd goal of the season already, and he rescues us a point late on. Newcastle United 1, Sheffield United 1, and a very credible point there away at St James's Park, as we make sure we don't have a defeat in our first 2 games. But also the injury there from McKenna, as you would have seen, it was a dislocated shoulder, so Scott's going to be out for about 8 weeks. Tough start that. You know, McKenna of course has been great ever since we signed him from Aberdeen back in the January window of season 1. I think he was our first first signing of the series, wasn't he? He's been brilliant though. So to have McKenna out for the first 8 weeks, bit of a shame, and that means that Jordan Torunariga, who we signed from Hertha Berlin, he's going to have to step in and fill in and do really, really well for us. But speaking of centre backs, a bid did come in there for Ben Godfrey from Villarreal, which of course we rejected. The former Norwich man is going nowhere. He had a great debut year for us last year, and I'm expecting even bigger things from the young centre half. And also a bid came in from Norwich for George Baldock, and once again I decided to reject it and decided to offer George a new contract as well. Also, you know, Baldock, well, I said before, when he plays he does well, and I think a lot of people in career mode, they get hung up on the number of the overall. When they see the overall and they see it might be quite low, relatively speaking, compared to the other players in their team, they might think it's time to cash in and sell. But I've said this before, the overall is not that important. How you feel when controlling the players is much more important. And whenever I play Baldock, he does well as a backup right back. I don't want to sell him, man. Bruno's just come in, yes, but I still want Baldock here. So we give him a new contract, 3-year deal, sporadic squad role, and George will be remaining as our backup right back for season 3 and beyond. But still, following out, we went to our youth academy and saw that Koulibaly, the left back I'm so excited about, is still 15 years old and thus not eligible to be given a pro deal just yet. He's potentially so high. I want him as my backup left back, but after the sale of Ben Osborne a couple episodes ago, we don't have a backup for Ollie Short in the left back role. And of course, as we saw last season, he got that 2-month injury towards the end of the campaign. If we were to end the transfer window and not have a registered full backup left back, then I think we'd be in a lot of trouble. So I didn't want to buy a new backup left back. I wanted Koulibaly, but if I was going to buy one, well, I've mentioned this guy quite a few times. This is the guy I really wanted. Jamal Lewis of Norwich City, of course, still in the Championship in the game, valued at £8.5 million, 76 rated, 23 years old, and he's got the stats I absolutely love on a left back, and he would be the ideal fit for this Sheffield United side. We agree, I think it was a 15% sell-on clause plus a £9 million transfer fee, so not really that much for Jamal Lewis. Relatively speaking, that's actually quite a low transfer fee. He wanted to take a wage cut in this team, and of course, I said this before, every now and then I will agree to a wage cut of a certain player if it's realistic enough and it sort of befits the situation. But let's be honest here, Jamal Lewis coming back to the Premier League, 76 rated, only 23 years old, very talented player. He's not going to ask for a wage cut, is he? So I thought I'd give him £1,000 a week extra than what he's on right now, 25 grand a week, 100 grand signing bonus. I think that's quite realistic for his ability and age, really. 5-year deal, and he accepts it as well. So Jamal Lewis is in. He becomes our latest signing with the Sheffield United side, and possibly our final signing as well. He'll wear the number 12 he's wearing at Carrow Road right now, and again for £9 million. Once again, like all of our transfer signings so far, it's a great value for money deal. I don't know why it says he's unhappy and the management is poor. He's only just signed for the club. He only signed 5 minutes ago. But either way, his stats are absolutely fantastic. You saw his key stats there. 92 stamina. High work rate. Already, I love this guy, man. He's a total engine. 84 acceleration and sprint speed. Technically very good when going forward and competent at the back. And a solid player trait as well. I mean, the new signing, and I love him already. I mean, seriously, absolutely brilliant signing for this club. For £9 million, once again, a great bargain and a great value for money deal there. He'll be a backup for Ollie Shaw, step in when required for our number 3. I'm really happy with that signing right there. And again, I love him already because those are the sort of players we need in this club. Workers, workhorses, high work rates, high stamina, solid player trait. This is the sort of side we have with Sheffield United. We've got a hard-working, close-knit bunch. We don't want to deflect and go away from that current club philosophy. We're a hard-working, close group of players, and those are the sort of players I want for this team. Lewis comes in, he befits this sort of club perfectly, and I'm really pleased to get him in for, again, a very good deal of just £9 million. So, second game of today's episode, second and final game, as we would now welcome Arsenal to Bramwell Lane here. Big test in our first home game of the season, and we almost got the perfect start as well. 40 minutes in, lovely football there. Great ball into Calvert-Lewin, but sadly denied by Leno as he goes in search of his second goal since re-signing for the club. And in the 23rd minute, we continue to attack. Great start this from the Blades. Bogle plays it inside. Once again, it's Dominic. Then once again, he's denied by Leno. Couple of big saves by the German, but what a start from the Blades, going at the Gunners in the opening half an hour and desperately unlucky not to be in front. In the 29th minute, another great chance and another great save by Leno. Davy Prupper looking for his first goal for the club. The German with another fantastic save though. We could have been 3 goals up in the first half an hour, but if it wasn't for Leno, we would have been. Still 0-0. But in the 39th minute, I got to be honest here, I was absolutely raging. Arsenal get the goal against a run of play to take the lead, and I only had myself to blame for it as well. Passing out from the back, a throw-in deep inside our own half. There was no pressure on us whatsoever, and I totally messed this one up. Gave the ball to the captain, meant to play it through to Ravel Morrison, but I got the direction of the pass wrong. It went straight to an Arsenal player who runs in, smashes it past Henderson, and Arsenal, completely against a run of play, take a 1-goal lead heading into half-time, and I was just so angry with myself. I couldn't blame the AI for that one. It wasn't bad luck like the Newcastle goal. No, that was just my fault. Stupid error, terrible pass, and we're made to punish for it. So Arsenal in front heading into the break, and in the second half could have doubled their lead, and they would have done so had it not been for a great save by Henderson. Still 1-0 to the Gunners, but we were still looking really good despite being a goal down. And in the 57th minute, once again, we were frustrated by Arsenal's number one. Burned Lennon with another fabulous save, preventing Calvert-Lewin for the 3rd time in the game. And in the 75th minute, still trailing by a goal. Bogle was played forward this time, but smashed it over the bar as we were still down by 1. And I was thinking, it's just not going to be my day. Norwood was then forced off for injury. We were still down by a goal, and we needed to get a little bit of luck with 10 minutes to go, otherwise we'd have our first defeat of the season. Well, from the corner, we clear the ball away. Robinson off the bench goes on the run and smashes it past Leno, and finally, at what felt like the 20th time of asking, we get ourselves a deserved goal and beat the German and make it 1-1. Callum Robinson's first goal of the season. He literally just came off the bench for the injured Nord before that corner there. That was his first involvement of the play. He goes coast to coast, runs the length of the pitch, smashes it in, and with just a few seconds remaining in the game, as we tied the game at 1-1, Shaw sprints down the left-hand side. El Neni comes across, takes him down. I have to be honest here, I think Ollie Shaw sold this one. It was a really theatrical dive, and El Neni got the ball first, but either way, a free kick given to us, our final chance of the game. Shaw floats it in, Robinson wins the header, flicks it onto the turf, and oh my word, just off target and behind for a goal kick. We so almost won it right at the death, a matter of inches preventing us from getting the winning goal and getting our first victory at home in our first home game of the season. We should have got it as well. Leno made some brilliant saves in this game, and of course I made the error for the Arsenal goal, but either way, perspective, a 1-1 draw against the Gunners, a very credible point and an undefeated start to begin the campaign off. Last year it took us 8 wins to get our first Premier League victory, 8 games to get our first Premier League victory. This season, winning on the opening day, and then 2 credible points away at Newcastle and at home to Arsenal. Good start for Sheffield United. Let's keep it going. But that was today's episode of Career Mode, guys. So big thank you for watching. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you did enjoy today's episode, then please drop a like. Much love to you all, and I'll see you for the next episode very soon.